Hello there everybody, and welcome back to Tree of Tranquility. It is now the 10th day of summer, and I have a couple of little things planned. Some stuff that I want to look into spending my money on. And just a quick note, I've gone ahead and loaded up my rucksack with some copper that I managed to mine and refine, and some tools that I would like to upgrade, because I would like to try and get my tools upgraded. I've talked about this being sort of a priority for me, and so we already have the watering can and the hammer, and I'll need some more copper to upgrade the rest of the tools, but I think I would like to do the fishing rod and the axe next. So hopefully I'll have the money to do that today. And I've thrown a couple of other things into my toolbox that we're going to need for rainbows further on down the line. The first is a good quality tomato. My first few tomatoes had come in and I saved one for use in a rainbow. And I've also gone ahead and just thrown a toadstool in here. Now, toadstools are extremely common. You can find them in the mine on pretty much every single floor. And so you can do this at any time. It might be worth it to do this later just to save the space in your toolbox. But I just thought, well, I might as well while I'm thinking about it. And so I've added these two items in. But I am running out of space. I've only got 5 spaces left, so I have to sort of plan carefully. So it's a cloudy day today. I'm gonna start off by checking the mailbox here. And we have a letter from Souffle Farm. And this is basically just letting us know that they have new products in their store. And their new product that they're talking about is fertilizer. Their first letter that comes to you and their first upgrade that they have is fertilizer. So we can now buy that from them. We don't have to wait to buy it at the flower festival, because that would be really too bad if we were only able to buy it once a year. But fortunately that is not the case. So if you're stuck with soil that's not a really good quality, you can now fix that problem by buying some fertilizer from Souffle Farm. You can see that my next batch of onions are almost ready. And as I mentioned, I got my first bout of tomatoes, and I also got my first few stalks of corn a couple days ago as well. So those are starting to come in, and we are starting to get profit off of all of the stuff that we have planted. Now today is a Tuesday, so everything should be open. And my first stop is going to be the mine district. Gotta wait for everything to open. So let's just go ahead and have a look at the forest here. There's a couple of things for us to grab. I've also been stocking up on my lumber and my stone. Been trying to kind of do that in my free time when I have a little bit of energy left over. I forgot this red herb sitting under that tree. It's pretty hard to see. I'll ship that in a moment. One of the things, of course, that I think we should start working towards is upgrading the farm. We already have the second house upgrade, but we have yet to build a coop or a barn. And I think at this point, now that we have some better tools and we're able to do a little bit of better time management, we can probably start to think about having some animals on the farm. Because as you can see, building a barn and building a coop actually does not require a lot of money, and it doesn't require a lot of material either. We can actually very easily build both of these things, and I think that's what I might do, assuming that he can build 2 things at once. Let's try. So we'll go ahead and order the coop first. And it looks like if I want to get the barn, I'm going to have to wait. He'll only do 1 thing at a time. So we're going to have to wait another 2 days at least before we can get the barn, but that's okay. I'm not in any real rush. And this is a completely cosmetic thing, but I would really love to get my house painted because pink is probably one of my least favorite colors, and I hate looking at that ugly roof. It actually doesn't cost very much to get it painted. I would like to just get it painted blue, but I think for now, I'll maybe just save my money and see where that gets me. And I was going to look through the list to see if there's anything else I was going to save for, but I can't even look at the list while he's building, so okay, fair enough. I get it, you're busy. So we'll start with the coop, which is very exciting. We can maybe start to get some chickens. We'll stop in at Ramsey's, and upgrading to copper isn't very expensive. As you can see, it's $2,500 to upgrade from iron to copper. And even if we upgrade both the axe and the fishing rod, we should still have plenty of money left. So let's just go ahead and do that. And let's go to Souffle Farm next, and we can check out their new inventory. We can have a look at the fertilizer and how much that will cost us. So let's talk to Ruth here. And if you go down to the fertilizer tab, you'll now see that we have fertilizer available. We have regular fertilizer, which will work for 1 season, and we have rapid fertilizer, which will work for 2 seasons. I really highly recommend fertilizer because it is so cheap, but yet it is so beneficial to get you those perfect shining crops, and you can sell that for more money. So this is spending a little bit of money to get a huge profit later on down the road. And I actually went ahead yesterday and I bought some rapid fertilizer and put it on my field already, which is hopefully going to help my crops. And next, I'm going to go to the general store. I haven't been there very often, so I don't quite remember what certain things cost, but we're gonna go and have a look because there is one particular thing that I'd like to buy from them, assuming it doesn't cost a lot. And they are closed on Mondays, so we should be good to get our shopping on. And what I want to do is I kind of want to get my cooking on. And there's one specific tool I'm looking for, and that is the oven. And this actually doesn't cost a lot to get an oven. Even the most expensive one isn't very expensive. And the reason that I would like to get an oven is because there is an ingredient required for one of the rainbows that is a cooked recipe. You can't buy it anywhere, you have to make it. And it's an oven recipe, and it requires an oven. Now, cooking overall has a lot of really good benefits. Sometimes you can take certain items, cook them, and increase their value to sell them. Certain characters like cooked items as gifts, and sometimes you can even cook stuff and eat it, which will increase your stamina. So if you're far away from the spa, you don't have to walk all the way to the hot spring and waste all that time. You can just eat something that you have in your rucksack instead. So there are a lot of really great benefits to cooking, but there's really no need for it at this early part in the game, I don't think. Once we start to sort of go farther and farther away from our house in Waffle Town, and we can branch off and go to different areas, I think that's when we'll sort of worry about cooking a little bit more. And I think we might as well just buy the normal oven. Besides the country oven, the other 2 designs are so similar that it's really not worth paying more money for. And remember, of course, that once you buy a piece of furniture, you have to place it in your house. So we'll have to actually place that in our kitchen a little bit later. And for the time being, I think that is pretty much it. So with all of my spending today, I think I spent about $10,000. I still have quite a bit of money left over. And this is going to be a good number for me to build on in order to afford some other stuff down the line, because there's always stuff to save for. Money is something that is always needed until a late part in the game, of course. And for this first year especially, and probably even into year 2, we are going to need a lot of money. So we'll have to wait a couple of days for our coop to be complete. Then we can start thinking about getting some animals. Dale will then be able to build our barn, and we can think about getting some more animals. But we also have to have food for those animals, and we have to buy the tools for those animals, and so on and so forth. I'm sorry this video wasn't entirely action-packed. I feel like we didn't really do a lot except for some running around, but this was kind of just a shopping episode that I had planned. There was just a lot of stuff I wanted to have a look at and some stuff I wanted to buy that I didn't want to leave you guys out of the loop for. And you can see here that we have the framework for the coop, and this is where it's going to be built. And so I'd imagine that the barn would probably go right next to it. I'm not sure if I'm crazy about this layout. This is really close to my crops. I think it would be kind of nice if maybe they put it over here or down here. But I think that the town plot is probably the smallest piece of land that you can buy. And so that was probably my fault for not picking a piece of land that was a little bit bigger. But I think it'll all work out in the end. It usually does. So let's have a look, and maybe we can place our oven. Probably won't be using it for a little while yet, but that's okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to rotate this thing. Here we go. So that's facing towards the wall, which is kind of what I want. And you can check it. And then this is where you would add your ingredients, and cooking is very straightforward. Of course, you kind of want to know the recipe. You can look up recipes online if you want to cook certain things. And I think that oven goes really nice with the decor of our house. I'm probably going to just spend the rest of the day maybe chopping down some trees, breaking down some boulders, doing some fishing. Kind of snooze-worthy stuff to actually watch. It's sort of late in the day, so I don't want to start mining. But now that I've sort of done a little mini update here, I'm going to play a couple more days on my own, and hopefully when I come back I'll have more money to spend on more stuff, and we can make a bit more progress. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.